With the Sahara Desert stretching out over northern Cameroon, the population there struggles to secure its food supplies. Unfavorable climatic conditions cause poor harvests, and high poverty levels are a chronic threat for the population's food security. At harvest time, farmers sell off some of their crops to ensure the educational and other needs of their family. The high supply of grains during harvest time lowers the market prices. Businessmen go therefore back and forth between the villages to stock up on grains. Through speculation, they take advantage of the food shortages they create this way later in the year. Once food becomes scarce, the speculators put their supplies back on the market against exorbitant prices. By then, families have run out of their own supplies. They sell their livestock to buy grains to bridge the lean season. But at this time, prices on the grain markets are soaring while they are plummeting for livestock. As a result, the population's living standards and food security are continuously spiraling down. Poor rains and locust infestations caused in 2005 severe food shortages in northern Cameroon. Alerted by its sources, the Cameroonian Joining Hands Partner Network RELUFA drew up a task force with representatives from its 3 northern member organizations. Together they studied the programs of various entities operating in the field of food security. The task force met with national and international organizations and churches to learn about their respective experiences. The committee then discussed how, by networking together, they could achieve food sovereignty for vulnerable communities in northern Cameroon. The establishment of a community grain banking system was identified as the most appropriate and sustainable strategy. Such program would break the cycle of food scarcity, soaring market prices, chronic malnutrition, and dependency on food distribution programs. In short, a village granary allows for self-governance of food supplies by the community and curbs the speculation mechanisms that generate hunger and poverty. To set up a grain bank, sorghum is bought from participating subsistence farmers at harvest time. This supply serves as initial working capital for the village granary to begin operating as a community cereal bank. The grain bank closes its door after harvest season only to open up again when households run out of food. The bank then gives bags on credit or sells them against an agreed-upon group price. Any surpluses will be sold outside the community at the market price. During harvest time, families that borrowed food from the grain bank pay back their loan in kind. At the same time, the money earned on the earlier sales now serves as working capital for the bank to buy produce from the members ahead of the businessmen. At the end of harvest time, the granary closes its door only to open up at the next period of food shortages. Once the task force had decided on this strategy, the team looked how to be the most effective with the limited funds available. Supplying the initial stocks as working capital for the cereal banks was considered the most important in the program. But the construction of granaries would consume the bulk of funds, and so communities were asked to provide storage room as their own contribution. The network focused on divisions where vulnerability was marked high, but interventions by the government and the World Food Programme had remained limited. To reduce overhead costs and have a better measurable impact, it was decided to concentrate the network's first intervention in only one of these divisions. People groups where underlying conflicts had caused failures in the past were considered too risky. And so 18 villages in the district of Mokolo were identified to launch RELUFA's food sovereignty program in January 2006. Community workers of its northern member organizations first held sensitization sessions in these villages for the farmers to better understand the community cereal banking system. The villagers received training in how to organize as a grassroots group and get their village grain banks legalized. They democratically chose a management team of 6 persons, among whom they elected the treasurer. In the following months, this team was trained in the operations, management and supervision of the cereal bank. Each member of the management committee has a key to one of the 2 locks with which the granary's door is secured. In this way, 2 people with 2 different keys need to be signatory to provide access to the stocks. This system counters mismanagement of the supplies. Then, in February, RELUFA's team started to go out to buy sorghum from small farmers in the villages and supply the grain banks with their first stocks of 60 bags. The operations continued, and by April the granaries in each of the 18 participating communities had received their first stocks. The banks closed their doors, but training of the groups and their management committees continued in preparation of the lean season. By August, they were eager but ready to open their granaries and clear the stocks. Most people took grain on credit, but part of the supplies was sold for cash. Shortly after, the farmers started to harvest their crops. Since November, the management committees have been gradually restocking the grain banks with produce of their members. This process will continue until all sorghum will have been threshed by April 2007. The network continues to provide the needed sensitization, training and accompaniment of the farmers through the community workers of its member organizations. RELUFA's food sovereignty program entails a strategy that addresses at the same time hunger, poverty and economic injustice. The rotating stocks secure from year to year a community's food needs. The in-kind loans and reduced group prices allow needy families to take grains. Therefore, no one has to go hungry during the lean season. The grain bank system is based on self-governance of food supplies. It increases a community's sense of dignity as it faces off hunger, poverty and exploitation by speculators. The group member price will allow the community to save between $1,000 and $2,000 per year on a stock of 100 bags. Rather than spiraling down to lower living standards, livestock and money remain in the community. In most villages, this has already led to a remarkable increase in number of children attending school. Also, a group that succeeds in augmenting its number of bags in fact builds up savings. The sale of these surpluses gives additional capital for the grain bank. They increase the living standards of the community at large if they are invested in other development projects like water wells. The fact that farmers need to buy back the produce of their own hard labor constitutes injustice. By creating community cereal banks and purchasing the stocks from the small farmers ahead of the businessmen, this program curbs the exploitation of poor farmers by speculators. The network will lobby with local authorities to prevent in the long run the sale of local produce to businessmen who ship the supplies out of the region.
Nous nous organisons ceci. Par rapport au travail en commun, on fait un communiqué, on s'associe, on choisit, n'est-ce pas, une journée, qu'on ramasse le mille de telle personne tel jour, le mille de telle personne tel jour, on met tous ensemble. Et puis c'est pourquoi vous avez vu, on a abattu aujourd'hui 3 tas de différentes personnes. Donc, d'où, n'est-ce pas, ça nous facilite, n'est-ce pas, de travailler facilement. Et puis, si ce système de mettre sur le caillou nous permet, n'est-ce pas, d'avoir les milles bien propres, c'est-à-dire qui ne contient pas de sable, de poussière, ainsi de suite. Autant doute, vraiment, la famine nous menace. Et puis nous avons beaucoup d'enfants. Autant de si dur, l'enfant ne trouve qu'à manger peut-être à midi et c'est tout. Et puis pour supporter jusqu'au midi du lendemain. Il y a d'autres qui fouillent même le village, c'est-à-dire qui partent en exode rural à cause de la famine. Il n'y a plus de quoi à manger. Et puis en rentrant, tu viens trouver soit 2 enfants ne vivent plus, la famille les a tués, ou soit tu viens trouver les enfants tous maigres. Le grenier communautaire, ça nous aide maintenant à prendre le mil à crédit. Il y a une grande différence parce que ça nous a même surpris. Les enfants ont mangé comme d'habitude jusqu'à ce qu'il y a reste du mil. L'année passée, ils étaient à l'école en fin septembre, alors que la rentrée commence le 2 septembre. Et pour cette année, ils sont allés à l'école le jour de la rentrée. Ils sont allés à l'école le 6, c'est-à-dire au même pied d'égalité que les autres.
Le travail n'est pas dur pour moi. Et nous les femmes, les hommes ont toujours confiance à nous les femmes. Par exemple, ils m'ont choisi pour être trésorier.
Avant, les gens souffrent pour la famine. Les gens prennent, pour la saison provinciale, les gens prennent leurs sèvres pour aller vendre au marché pour acheter le mil. Mais comme on a eu vraiment l'aide là, les gens vraiment sont, ils ont eu très satisfaits puisque quelqu'un qui veut vendre ses sèvres, il n'a plus encore vendre les sèvres. Il a pris maintenant le crédit pour rembourser. Les sèvres sont encore là. C'est un avantage. Ils sont encore produits. Ça va encore produire. Tu devrais vendre le sèvre pour acheter le mil. Et maintenant, tu as déjà eu le mil pour manger. Reste maintenant pour les enfants pour aller à l'école. Tu peux prendre maintenant le sèvre que tu devrais vendre pour acheter le mil. Maintenant, tu veux vendre ça, acheter le cahier pour les enfants, pour l'école. Mais vraiment, c'est pertinent.